I have an elderly horse who I love so much, and I was wondering how I can make life for him a bit more comfortable as he ages. He is a 28, with a question mark, year-old appendix quarter horse. He is retired. He gets turned out into an indoor arena every night with other horses, and he's in his stall from maybe 9 until 3. We often have young lesson kids work with him. No riding, of course, but he gets hand-walked pretty much every day, just a few laps around the property, and we groom and bathe him often with the kids. He is quite skinny and is a sad sight. We feed him twice as much hay as the other horses, and he gets grain once a day and an assortment of supplements. Still can't seem to put weight on. Any tips on fattening him up and making his life a little better would help so much.
Life already sounds pretty good, but we'll try.
It's very wonderful. This is very sweet.
Assortment of supplements is an interesting way of phrasing it.
That's how I would describe my SmartPak. It's an assortment.
So when I look at a situation like this, the first thing I want to make sure they're doing is working with their vet. So get the complete physical exam. Make sure there's no underlying health condition. A horse this age,
28, she thinks.
Could have Cushing's, could have a variety of things that they're unhealthy enough to make them a little bit run down or make them into that hard keeper. And so if you bring their health status up a notch, maybe they'll put on weight better, or they're extract the nutrition out of their food that they should be.
Even things you might not expect, like teeth problems.
Could be teeth,
very
could be
common.
Parasites, yeah. Could be simple things, could be hard things, but get the vet out.
Yes.
When the vet is out, have them show you, if you don't already know how, to do a body condition score and to assess the weight or in some way measure the weight of your horse. Can be a tape. And then record those in a journal so that now you have an objective measurement of your horse's health.
Is this getting better? Is this getting worse?
Exactly.
Rather than just, ooh, I wish you'd gain weight.
Right, because we're going to give you some things to do, and if you're not following them, I did A, and is he better or worse, then you don't know if you should continue that or try something else. And the thing I always tell people is, try one thing at a time. Because if you throw...
hard to resist.
I know it is, because you want them to get better right now. But if you throw the kitchen sink at them and then the horse get better, you're like, uh-oh, what was it? Now I have to do everything. Now you're taking out one thing at a time. So they said the horse gets hay in front of him all the time.
It says, twice as much as, well, they said twice as much as the other horses. So that is a good point.
Okay. So when I have a thin horse, I like to keep food in front of them all the time. I don't know if they have a situation where they can do that, but that would be ideal. And I would keep grass hay in front of this horse all the time if he has the teeth for it. And then I would begin to add some alfalfa hay in if he can tolerate it, because it has more protein and it has more calories.
While we're on the subject of the hay in front of them all the time, I just want to throw in some things here because my horse Cody is 29 and he is not underweight, but he's close. He's probably, he's a 4.
Okay.
He's not a 4.5 where I'd like him to be on the body condition scale. And so with him, he's a hay waster. And so if we throw 5 flakes into his stall, he'll eat 1 and then just pee on the rest.
Yeah.
And so what we do instead is we give him 1 flake at a time in a small whole hay net so that he's eating it, has access to it, and doesn't have the ability to just trash it all over the floor of the stall. And you get more out of what you give him.
The interesting thing with putting the hay in the hay net is you think it would slow them down, and it does, but that phenomenon makes the thin horses gain weight and the thick horses lose weight.
Interesting.
It brings everybody back to normal. So that was a really good suggestion. If his teeth aren't that great, there's always the option of chopped hay, hay cubes, which you probably want to soak, hay pellets. So still getting that long stem forage in there. He might be a horse that needs to transition to a complete feed, which is the hay and grain in the bag. And read the label on these, because you don't feed small amounts like 3 to 5 pounds of a regular fortified grain. You might need to feed 15, 18, 20 pounds of it, of course spread out over the day. Then you can add in other, I guess I would call them supplements, or other things to help hard keepers or senior horses add weight. My favorite, of course, is beet pulp. You knew I was going to say that. I like this because it is between the nutrition of hay and grain. and it's a fermentable fiber, which the horse's hindgut is excelled at, and they get energy from that, and then calories. So a lot of horses that are underweight gain weight with the addition of beet pulp. There's rice bran if you want to add fat. So moving to a new section. There's one way to add fat. You can just add straight fat too, and now it comes in a solid, so it's not as frustrating as oil, because oil gets thick in the winter and hard to pour, and then it can go bad. You know, in the summer it gets hot and goes rancid, and it doesn't taste good, and it's not great. So,
and depending what type of oil you pick, it can also have downsides.
Well, it could be very high in omega, like corn oil is very high. The ratio of omega-3s to omega-6 it's inverted, so you're just adding inflammation to your horse, and probably doesn't need that.
Not something a senior needs, for sure.
Definitely not. So I like the powdered fat. I think that older horses become less efficient as they age. The digestive system is one of the organs that becomes less efficient, and so some digestive support like probiotics, prebiotics, yeast, very good, enzymes, can help them, as I said earlier, extract the nutrition that you're already giving them, but they're just not getting. And then, you know, I like that he gets turnout. You probably don't have a grass, which is why they don't put him on it, but boy, pasture adds just bloom to horses, you know, and if there's any way you can get him outside for turnout, that would be ideal. I can't tell from hearing this if he gets outside for just some fresh air. And
he gets hand walked around the property, they said.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good opportunity for some grazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you know, everything, reduce the stress in his life. Look at all aspects of the environment. The vet's great to walk around with you, look at the food quality and quantity, look at the grass, look at the property, look for stress. So is he having to fight off other horses for his fair share? Sometimes that gets overlooked. Does he have a buddy that he's friends with? Because as a horse being isolated makes you nervous. So I think there's some
people too.
Yeah, everybody. I think there's some things that need looked at that's not in this question, and then there's some opportunities to add some nutrition to this horse that can make him enjoy his golden years.
That's right. All right, well, I hope that some of those solutions work out for you and that you guys have many more years ahead of you.
Yeah.
He sounds like a wonderful horse.